How we going, guys? And welcome to another live Hoggs vlog. Smayan Gupta, welcome to you. Halal Tube, how are you going? You're talking about Bangladesh there. You're a young Bangladesh follower, so we will bring that up at the back end of this vlog. Bangladesh team just too good for Australia on Bangladesh soil. We've got Sneang Su Kumar, how you going? Clout Cricket, welcome to Ask Hoggy. Any others there before we move on? Look, rain again has affected Test match cricket over in England. India were in the box seat, and there are a few things that we've got to look at on Hoggs vlog, and I want to ask your answer your questions as well. So let's roll bumper shoves and get right into it. Righty-o, guys, welcome to Hoggs vlog. Well, India only needed 157 with 9 wickets in hand to win on the last day. England had a prominent bowling attack. There was still enough in the wicket to cause a bit of havoc. But yes, rain disappointed yet again over there in England. And probably we could have a rest day in Test match cricket over in England, especially when there's rain around. But there's only a short turnaround before they go to Lords for the second Test match. So it would put a lot of pressure on the players. So let's get to the first talking point, please, Shubs. I want to talk about Jasprit Bumrah. Look, I was a little bit worried about him, especially in the first innings of the World Test Championship. He'd been injured, and he didn't look like he was sharp and as effective as what we've seen in yesteryear. But he's had time to be able to recoup his body and work on it, get stronger. And 9 wickets for the match. It was unbelievable bowling. What we saw in the first innings, he was able to utilise the swing. He was able to set the English batsman up with some perfect in-swing deliveries, then taking the ball away, and vice versa as well. So he had good game plans with the swinging delivery. But when it wasn't swinging, he's got that ability to be able to hold back or just refocus and then hit that deck hard and just hope for a little bit of sieve movement on the top of off stump. I thought he was effective and he was back to his sharp best. Now, I'm going to get a ball here. I love getting the ball out every now and then. What I liked about Bumrah is when he was bowling the in-swing, the wrist isn't much different for the batsman to see. So just a slight little in-swing there and just a slight little movement there. And with his quick arm action, it's very deceiving, and the batsman can't pick up that change of wrist position because the arm comes over in the same trajectory. So that's why it's so difficult to face. Now, we talk about that little wobble seam that the English bowlers bowl with that wider grip. Because Bumrah has got a little bit of extra pace and because he's whippy with that arm movement, I don't think he would be able to be as effective with that wobble seam as what the English bowlers are. But that's why he hits the deck hard. Now, let's move on to the next talking point. Mohammad Siraj. I am really enjoying the way that this young man is making an impact. He's worked hard on his fitness. He's worked hard on his consistency. And I love the aggression that he shows out in the middle. He's prepared to stare the batsman down, but he's just a workhorse. He doesn't lose pace throughout the whole innings. And I've been listening to Virat Kohli, and what Virat Kohli brings to this team is when youngsters come into the lineup, he gives them that encouragement where they feel part of the team. And sometimes when you're a young bowler coming in or a young player coming in, you feel like a little bit of a misfit. What Virat Kohli has done has allowed these players come in, give them a role, and make sure they believe in themselves. And what he's done with Siraj is allowed him to believe in himself, but he believes that he's going to beat the best opposition player that he's up against. He's not shy of taking on Joe Root. He's not shy of taking on Butler. And that's what you've got to do as a youngster when you come into international cricket. You've got to believe that you can compete against the best. And this is what I'm seeing with Siraj. And I want to move on to the next point, is because Siraj opened the bowling in the second innings and he started the day on the fourth day as well. And I think it put Mohammad Shami off his game a little bit. And I think he felt the pressure on that last day, especially when they got the second new ball. Mohamed Shami just came in and he was a little bit more erratic than what we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years. This is probably the worst little spell that I've seen of Mohamed Shami. And I just think he was feeling the effects that Virat Kohli had gone to Mohammad Siraj in that second inning. So that's something that they'll work on over the next couple of days. But I felt leading into that last day or that last spell that Shami had, he was still bowling with pace, he was still bowling with accuracy, and he's creating a lot of doubt with that the English batsman. So they're not going to make any changes in the next Test match. He'll definitely play, but I think just over the next 4 days, I think they've just got to refocus him mentally and just make sure that he's switched on and realise what his role is in this team. And he's a better bowler with the older ball than the newer ball, especially at the back end when it starts reversing, and that's his main role in the team. So, yes, he had a little bit of folder there, but I'm expecting him out Lords the next game to make a huge impact. Now, this is good. I'm getting my little talking points out within 6 minutes so I can get on to more questions from you guys. So, Shubs, can we get the first question up, please? Now, I better put my glasses on here. My hair's just got out. Now, hello, Tube. How you going, sir? Please talk about Bangladesh team going into T20 World Cup. Look, I think the Bangladesh team are doing extremely well. They've got quality spinners, and Mustafiza is back to his best with his slower delivery. Hopefully, with that fast arm action that he does and with the pace, that bowling those slower spinning type deliveries doesn't affect his shoulder again, because he is a big piece of this outfit if they're going to do well in the T20 World Cup. The only issue that I have with Bangladesh is when they face pace bowling, and they're going to face a lot of that in Dubai or over there in Abu Dhabi as well, when they play it over in the UAE, the T20 World Cup. The extra pace and bounce is the thing that's going to trouble the Bangladesh batsmen, and that's where it worries me. But on their home soil, they're just dynamite, and they have outplayed Australia. Yes, we might have our second string team over there, but the thing is, we pride ourselves on our depth. England have got a lot of depth and they're doing it well. India have got a lot of depth. We have fallen away. We've got to adapt to the conditions, and it's been a great lesson for us going over to Bangladesh. So well done to the Bangladesh boys over there, and thanks for getting on board. Hello, Tube. It's good to talk about another game here and there. All right. Vikshith, how are you going, Banala? I got that wrong the other day, so we won't muck that one up again. Sir, could India chase this down yesterday in a session or two? And what is your thought on KL Rahul and Boomerang? Yes, India definitely could have chased it down within 40 overs. They've got the likes of Pant, that's a very aggressive batsman. Virat Kohli can get the game moving as well. And you had Rahul at the top of the order, who was already out there, but you had Rohit Sharma, who's a good white ball player. So there was enough in the batting department to be able to get these runs very quickly. And if you lost early wickets, then you had the likes of Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane, who could smother the situation and just bat it out for a draw in that 40-over period. I don't think England on that particular wicket. I just think it was starting to die down a little bit at that stage. There wasn't enough movement in the air for England really to create any havoc like they did in the first innings. But I just felt that the pressure of chasing down a small total of 157 runs on that particular day could have played a part in that run chase. I am very impressed with KL Rahul. One thing with Rahul, out of all the Indian batsmen in their squad, he's probably the one that is most rotated in different roles within that lineup. And for him to adapt and to perform like he does, and when he gets an opportunity like this, it just shows great character, great strength, and great application. And it's great to see him make a huge impact in this first Test match and put pressure on the other batsmen in this squad to have a part in this lineup. So I think he'll definitely play in the next Test match. If Agarwal is fully fit, he might even come in and bat out number 3 for Pujara let's wait and see, and have Argawell opening the batting, because I just felt Pujara on this particular wicket wasn't moving his feet, wasn't getting to the pitch of it. And with the ball moving like it is, if he's not going to get far forward, he is going to be a sitting duck in a sense, where they're going to find that outside edge quite a lot to Pujara's bat. Boomerang, as I said in the intro, he's sensational. I think he is definitely in the top 3 bowlers or 5 bowlers in world cricket at the moment going around. Probably in the top 3 bowlers to be with his versatility with all 3 formats. He's able to move that red ball, but when it comes to the white ball cricket, he's got the variations of the slower deliveries, the Yorkers and the bounces as well. He's just an all-round, all-format cricketer. So for me, Boomer is in the top 3 of world-class bowlers for all 3 formats. And as I said before, I was a little bit worried about him going into this Test series, but he's worked on his fitness, and he's proved me wrong, and he's added a few things to his skills as well. Absolutely love him. Quality person, quality bloke. Dhruva Kanwar, how you going, mate? Hi, Hoggy. Hope you're doing well today. I am. Just wanted to ask about Virat's form. He averages 23 in the last 2 years, 9 innings. Do you reckon it's a blip or something more serious? No, I don't think there's any blimp there. I think he is looking good. Yes, he got a very good ball in this first innings. But one thing I like about Virat Kohli, it's not about his own performances. He's out there to win a game for India. But listening to an interview just recently that he had on Sky, I just love the way what Indian cricket means to him, and what the Test team or what the Indian team means to him. It's not about him performing as such. It's about him developing a good culture where they can go out there and express themselves and play to the best ability. He's changed the professionalism within this Indian ranks. He's expecting excellence in their training. And with that excellence, results will come. He's not forcing the results. He's just trying to let the players play the best cricket that they possibly can. And to do that, it's all about preparation. And this Indian team right now under Virat Kohli is the best prepared team. And with all that responsibility, every now and then, Virat Kohli is just going to have a little bit of a form slump. But I wouldn't say it's a form slump, because he was in a good position with that shot the other day. It just seemed away just enough to get the outside edge. Expect him to make big runs moving forward. So Virat Kohli, don't write him off. But yes, we all worried about him. We all want to see him make runs. Ramareddy Kavuri. How you going, mate? Hi, Hogg, sir. This is my first question in your channel. Thanks very much, mate, and thank you very much for joining me. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. I like your channel very much, with Rowett unable to convert the starts in overseas. What are your thoughts on cricket under retractable roos? Very good. Look, Rowett hasn't had success in Test level overseas. We all know that. I've talked about it a lot on this channel. But one thing I liked about Rowett in this particular first Test match is his application. He was prepared to leave outside the off stump. There were little glimpses there where he wanted to chase the ball and feel that bat that ball on the bat. But the application there, the dedication, and a month and a half for him leading into this particular series and only focusing on it, I'm expecting him to make 200s in this Test series. I think we're going to see a little bit of a change, and I think we're going to see a little bit of success on probably some of the toughest conditions for a batsman when they go away from the subcontinent. So don't write Rowett off right yet. I'm expecting him to make some runs. Retractable roos. Look, it would be great to have retractable roos. We've got one here in Australia. But the only thing is, it's very expensive to put it on all the grounds around the world. And the one that we have here in the stadium, getting a good wicket out in the middle is quite difficult as well. we really haven't had a proper first-class wicket that we've seen produced under that particular roof. And plus the outfield, there's a bit of an effect on the grass as well, and it's not really conducive to the spikes that we wear as cricket players. There's a little bit more mud, and you don't get as much grip on the outfield, so it can get quite dangerous as well. So to be able to produce a first-class wicket under a roof is very difficult, and to have it last for 5 days under that roof would be very difficult as well. You don't really get as much bounce. If you could lift the pitch up, take it out and prepare it, then bring it back in a short period of time, you might be able to get away with it, but it's just too much expense around the world. And look, we've only had a few games that have been washed out, and I think in this particular instance, when you go to England, they should be able to put a reserve day in for all the test matches over there, especially when there's so much riding on it with World Test Championship points. So I'd rather go for the reserve day for each test match rather than have retractable roos. But that's a very good thought there, mate. And thanks very much for joining me, and stay tuned. And yes, let's see how India go in this particular series. I'd like to know who's your favourite cricketer as well. It sounds like it's Rowett, so don't write him off yet. Expect some big scores. Okay, Shivani Bhagat, how are you going? Hoggy, how about Surya Kumar Yadav in Test? Look, after Rahul's performance in this first Test match, and if they are worried about Pujara, they wanted to have Agarwal opening in the first Test match, but because he had a bit of concussion, they didn't allow him to play in that first fixture. I would have thought that Rahul opening the batting and Surya Kumar Yadav coming in out 3 might have been an option just to add a little bit of variety, because Surya Kumar Yadav plays with a lot of flair. He has a lot of difference in the way that he goes about the game, and just that point of difference might be able to put the opposition bowlers off their line and length. Someone like an Anderson and Broad, who's got a lot of experience, not so much, but someone like a Robinson and a Sam Curran who don't have that experience at Test level. Someone like Surya Kumar Yadav can really put those two off their game and allow it a little bit more ease in that middle order as well. So he could be a good option coming in at number 3 if you want to keep Rahul opening the batting, if Pujara doesn't lift and deliver what he does on Indian soil, and also deliver around the globe. So that's someone that I would like to see in the Test lineup somewhere along in this series, because I think he can make a difference and really change up the momentum of the series. Yep, I'm really on the bandwagon with Surya Kumar Yadav. Next question, please, Shubs. Hey, Hoggy, how are you doing today? I am going great, Kunjan Mystery. Always loved your analysis. Do you think ICC should take add-on 1 and 2 day if weather conditions are rainy in every test in England? Because mostly rainy weather over there. Look, I think England and New Zealand probably would be the two areas where rain really affects Test match cricket. So I think at least have 1 reserve day on each Test match in these particular regions. It's not really going to change the calendar up that much. And what you do, you sort of over a 5 Test series, what you do see is there's a bigger break in the middle somewhere along there. So instead of having that bigger break, you take a day or 2 off that particular break, but you have extra reserve days on the other Test matches, and that will somehow work itself out that the players all get the same day's rest. So there's not too big a workload on them. So yes, I totally agree with you there, Kunjan. We need a reserve day at least for each Test match that we play over in England, and I'd add New Zealand onto that as well. And when we go to the subcontinent, every now and then we play on those, we have tournaments in those rain-affected periods there. So when we have a scenario like that where we go over there and it's monsoon season, we can look at reserve days there in those particular fixtures as well. Mohan Kumar, thanks, Shubs, for that. Hoggy, is Jadeja most prolific all-rounder going around? Look, I love Jadeja. I just think he adds so much in not just with the bat and ball, but his fielding is exceptional as well. The amount of runs he saves, the run-outs that he creates is just exceptional. So for me, batting all-rounder, yes, I think he's the most prolific. Bowling all-rounder, I'm not quite 100% sure on that, because when it comes to second innings in test matches, he's not as effective as in the first innings, and that's especially when they're away from India as well. I'm talking about over in England, because he undercuts the ball, and players are playing for that spin in the first innings when the wicket's a little greener. And because they play for that spin, he gets a lot of LBWs, inside edges, and batsmen in a lot of doubt there, because they're a little unsure of that skiddier type nature that he has. And that's why it's always good to have Jadeja and Ashwin in the team, because they add different variety, and their strong points are at different stages of the game. When the wicket's got a little bit of wear and tear and it's a little drier, Ashwin comes into the game. When it's newer, Jadeja comes into the game. So for me, Jadeja is the most prolific batting all-rounder, but not so much bowling all-rounder. But very good observation there, Moen. Absolutely love that point. Next question, please, Shubs. Sandeep Mahajan, how you going? Please wish me birthday, sir. Huge fan. Happy birthday to you, Sandeep. I hope you have a great day and celebrate it hard with your family. And I hope your new age, or yes, you've got a little one more notch on the age group. Hope it brings a lot of success for you this year and a lot of happiness. So happy birthday, Sandeep. Hershkish Kulkarni, how are you going? Hi, Hoggy. How are you doing? I'm going great. What do you think of Virat saying that the four-seamers, one-spinner combinations will be the template for the rest of the series? I love your vlogs. Super job. Keep going. Look, over in England, I think that could be the way to go. If someone like a Thakur, yes, with his seam bowling, can get some more runs on the board, then it gives them other options to be able to bring Ashwin in as well, especially at the back end when the wickets might be a little bit drier, and they probably want to go for that bowling all-rounder rather than the batting all-rounder of Jadeja. So for me, I think it's a template. Australia do it quite a lot, so we try and have an all-rounder seamer in the team rather than a spinning all-rounder. But I think that's the strength. I think you've got quality there. You've got variety with your seamers, as well as a little bit of spin. But Thakur, he's just swinging the ball predominantly. You've got Siraj, who's just attacking the stumps and more of a seam type bowler with a little bit of swing. Same with Sammy, who's got that extra pace. And then you've got Boomerang, who's got a lot of versatility with the ball. So they've got a lot of difference in those four quicks that they've got. And then you've got Ishant Sharma as well with the extra height as well. So there's a lot of variety there which can put pressure on the opposition batsman. If all the four seamers were similar bowlers and there wasn't much variety in that attack, well, then I wouldn't agree with it. But because of that variety, I think it's a good ploy. And plus, you've got that you've got Jadeja coming in at 7 who can bowl some spin as well when need be. Very good question there, Hershikesh. All right, next question, please, Shubs. Oh, there we go. Parth Mishra. Is in England conditions why Steve Smith is batting very well and all the players cannot play like Smith? The reason why Steve Smith does well over there is because he's trained himself to sort of get in line just outside the line of off stump and make the English bowlers bowl wide of off stump. But he also backs himself that if they straighten it up, he's going to stay in a position where he just works it through the leg side. He doesn't try and overhit the ball through the leg side. It's just all about timing. And then all of a sudden the English bowlers have to think about changing their field. They can't have 3 slips of gully. They've got to bring one of those over onto the leg side and tighten it up and put pressure on there and try and put the squeeze on the run rate. So that's why Steve Smith does so well over there in England. And if you look at what James Anderson said in his, I think it was on day 4, at the start of day 4. Yes, it was at the start of day 4. He had to change the way that he bowled from the first session to the second session on day 3 to create those wicket-taking opportunities. He was bowling too wide and just trying to drive the run rate up. To be able to get wickets, he had to bowl a lot straighter and have one more extra fielder on the leg side to try and smother the run. So with the way the Indian batsmen set up, they don't go outside the off stump. They sort of bat naturally and take guard on middle stump, and that allows Anderson to attack that off stump, attack the wickets to create the LBs and bowled opportunities. But if it seems away, he's got the batsman playing, and he's going to create more outside edges as well, going to first and second slip. So that's something that India have got to look out moving into the next Test match. Would they be prepared to bat on off stump when Anderson sets up that 4-5 field, 4 on the leg side, 5 on the off side, knowing that he's going to attack the stumps? And all the Indian players are very good through the onside off the stumps. So I think that's a skill that they might be able to back to counteract that little tactical move from England going into the next Test match. But guys, that's all we've got for you, but make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Look, I was disappointed that the rain stopped this Test match. I thought it was going to be a great one. India were in front. And just before we go, one thing that I liked about India, where they had improved, was their tails batting. They outscored, in the last 3 wickets, they outscored the English batsmen. They had 79 runs to 57 runs with the English tail. So that's with the England tail batting twice. India only batted once. That was the difference in the series in 2018. So something that they've worked on there, and that's a positive for India moving forward, where they can take this series away from England on their home soil. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and can't wait for the Lord's Test match.